the MLB playoffs have started. But the Bunting we're going to be talking about is the newly acquired Michael Bunting with the Hurricanes. And as it stands right now, it looks like that he's going to make a substantial impact and is going to pay huge dividends. Let's talk about it. The Hurricanes knew what they had to add during the offseason. They needed scoring, they needed sandpaper. While they added plenty of that with Dmitry Orlov, they still needed it in the forward group. With Michael Bunting, it looks like that they have made that necessary addition and mitigated both of those issues greatly. With Michael Bunting, you get a lot of sandpaper and you get a lot of scoring. You get a little bit of Carter Verhaeghe, you get a little bit of Brad Marchand. So we're going to talk about the assets that Michael Bunting brings in detail, what little things that he can do a little bit differently with his tenure in Carolina versus what he did in Toronto, and how he could be a more significant player than any of us realize by the time that it's all said and done. And hopefully the Hurricanes are holding up the really big trophy at the end. One, with Michael Bunting, you get a lot of physicality. You get someone who is an excellent forechecker. I mean that not only from the effort standpoint, but from the technical standpoint. Forechecking is one of the simplest skill sets in the game. It's also the most demanding. It's not as simple as a lot of people make it out to be, where you just skate directly at the guy who has the puck. A lot of it comes down to playing the right angle and forcing them to make a bad pass, forcing them to cut back at the wrong time, and maybe making them cough up the puck. Michael Bunting is incredibly good at that. In addition to his forechecking, let's talk about his body checking. Michael Bunting is very physical. He likes to hit. One of the things he does best is angling somebody off below the goal line down in the corners, giving them nowhere to go and laying the body on them, and separating them from the puck. He's a very fast skater. Michael Bunting has excellent straightaway speed to help him get into the position he needs to go, excellent edge work, and excellent lateral movement to help him, especially in the regard of being a forechecker. Now, we've also seen, thanks to the sample size that we've gotten of him in the preseason games, that he has a pretty solid defensive game as well, and he's an excellent 200-foot player. The day that he signed, he seemed so enthusiastic about playing in a system like the one Rod Brind'Amour has instilled in Carolina. And he can play with that high skill and high effort game that he has. That high skill and high effort game, it gets under people's skin, along with the chirping, along with the physicality. You combine all those things and just, let's be real, the guy has a punchable face. He draws a lot of penalties. The only person last season who drew more penalties than him was Connor McDavid. Now, Michael Bunting was in fact playing with Austin Matthews, and he's coming off of back-to-back 23-goal campaigns. And in a moment, we'll get to why I think Michael Bunting actually has 30-goal potential. In my opinion, Michael Bunting was targeted in free agency not only for the aforementioned general reasons of sandpaper and scoring. I think he was targeted specifically to be on Aho's wing. Now, whether those two are complemented by Svechnikov, Teravainen, Jarvis, or whomever has yet to be seen. But I think Michael Bunting was specifically targeted to add sandpaper and to add offense for Sebastian Aho. When you pair a player like Michael Bunting with Sebastian Aho, you take a little bit of the forechecking load off of Aho, and that's more time that he's sitting in front of the net creating more high-danger chances. With the aforementioned skill set that we just talked about, is really good at going into the corner, knocking guys off the puck, retrieving the puck, and creating chaos, and he can send a lot more passes out front to guys like Aho. In return, it'll be a two-way street. All those shots that guys like Aho, Jarvis, Teravainen generate, Michael Bunting is really good at being a pigeon and going and picking up the trash in front of the net, is really good at capitalizing on rebounds, making second efforts, and banging pucks the rest of the way home. So what else do the Hurricanes need out of Michael Bunting for them to potentially win the Stanley Cup this time around? At some point or another, I think Bunting is going to be Aho's line mate, for the aforementioned reasons. So in that particular regard, he needs to increase how many goals he scores and how many goals he sets up. Playing with that crazy physical edge, keep playing that high-effort game, but keep the penalty minutes down. There was already a bit of a reputation among Michael Bunting with the officials, and he was being officiated differently, so he's got to just keep an eye on that. Still bring that physical edge every night, but don't let it cost the team. Now, another thing that Michael Bunting really brings to the table is his abilities as a power play asset, particularly in the slot, in tight around the net, right in front of the crease. He'll stay in the goalie's kitchen all night. Michael Bunting is one of those guys that goes to the front of the net and he sets up shop there, and good luck moving him. High danger chances for the Hurricanes are going to increase significantly thanks to him. But the reason that they're going to capitalize on a lot more situations, particularly on the power play, is going to be because of Bunting's presence in front of the net and how well he cleans up those rebounds and puts them in. So while he's already a great power play asset, he has to be even better. If he does that on the power play and continues doing everything he's doing 5-on-5 as well, could see Michael Bunting eclipsing the 30-goal mark, and I think that that would be a big boost for the Hurricanes to win the division again. Be a good fit with the system. It looks like he's going to be already, but keep striving towards being that great fit with the system. To summarize, 1, he needs to keep doing what he's doing, playing with that physical edge, chirping, getting under guys' skin, going to the front of the net, creating all kinds of chaos there, and stuffing those rebounds home. 2, create more opportunities for his line mates, whoever they may be. Like I said, I think it's going to be Aho, whoever the other winger ends up being. Increase opportunities for them and capitalize on the opportunities that will come his way. Michael Bunting will fight, and I guarantee you we're going to see him in a scrap or two before it's all said and done. Just do it at the right times. If he does all that stuff, doesn't take too many penalties, and can stay out of the box himself while continuing that aggravating pest game that he has, then he's going to be a huge asset going forward. And one of the coolest things about Michael Bunting, the enthusiasm about him coming to Carolina. He has stated so many times how he didn't like being on the other end of that aggressive forecheck, and now he's happy to be on the other side of it, and I think he's going to be, dare I say, an absolute perfect fit in Brendan Moore's system. All in all, Michael Bunting could potentially be the most significant offseason signing the Hurricanes made. He's one of those guys that you really don't like him unless he plays for you. And he's one of those guys, if you sign him for no other reason, you sign him so you don't have to play against him. I'm really looking forward to see what he can do for the team. And speaking of offseason additions, the next video in this series will be about Dmitry Orlov. If y'all like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Consider donating to my Buy Me a Coffee page. The link for that will be in the description. It's October, so let's get ready to have some fun. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.